Good evening, Mr. Dillon.
We're back. What's going on?
We are back. We're
Yeah.
back for one final live in our 14-day stretch.
Yeah, this marathon's almost over.
Yeah.
Going over. Marathon's almost
Yeah.
over.
I'm curious to see what everybody has to say, what they got going on.
Yeah. Yeah. What your thoughts were. That I think should maybe be kind of the primary purpose of our episode tonight. We'll give it a minute, let a few folks pop on, but I really think we should kind of try to figure out like, hey, what did you think? Is it something you want us to keep doing?
Yeah. What are your thoughts? What are your questions? What are your concerns?
Yeah.
What do you got going on this weekend? How was your weekend? Evening, Otha.
What's up? You are back. Nice to see you.
What'd you do today?
Man, finished up some meal prep. We went to the pool. That was
nice.
fantastic. Yeah.
Do you have a pool like in your neighborhood?
Yeah, that's like the only thing that makes, not the only thing, but it's one of the things that makes the HOA like cool as hell.
Yeah.
There's like pretty much every single little subdivision of the subdivision has a pool.
Okay. Nice.
We have one like I'm not even exaggerating, like 45-second drive away.
Oh, cool.
That has that like beach entrance type.
Oh yeah,
On
yeah.
one edge. And since we've got really little kids, it is fantastic to
Hell
be
yeah.
able to have a 2-year-old running around in that end. It's great.
That's awesome.
Yeah, man.
Hey, so who are you and what are we doing here?
Hey, I just want to say I want to throw that up before we get into that. Jen, thank you. I was not gonna let that slide by. I mean, shower me with praise, baby. So yeah. So jokes aside, is our pleasure. I feel like that's a great way to get into like, hey, who are we? What are we doing?
Yeah.
Why are we here? And
Yeah.
why would somebody be saying they learned a lot over the last 2 weeks? Like, what is that
Yeah.
about?
Yeah.
So yeah, my name's Dillon Reed. I am a professional sobriety coach. For those of you that don't know, I drank for about 20 years. I've been sober for a little over 3, or I don't know, whatever, 3, between 3 and 4. If you can't tell, I'm not a huge big day counter. I'd tell you how many, 1,000 and something. But yeah, I help you go from being miserable, not being able to control your drinking, and having drinking control your life, to fixing that. And like, I don't know, maybe having a wife that's stoked because they're sober, and kids that you'll remember going to their baseball games and stuff. Whatever it is you're currently missing out on, because you are, I help you quit missing out on things. That's what I do. So there you go.
Awesome.
Who are you?
I'm the doc.
Hey,
I'm the doc and Dillon in the doc. My name's Dr. Ryan. I am a relationship expert with a ton of experience and expertise in relationship development and interpersonal communication. And I help you take back control of your relationship, give it a future, give it health, and give you hope for the future. And that's what I do.
Hey,
all things relationship related.
I think that's a cool thing to do, dude. Maybe that's why we're on a show together.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. We make up Dillon in the Doc, which is a program about sobriety / relationships, or sobriety and or relationships.
Yeah. Yeah. Your relationship with people, like romantic people, usually. Maybe not even romantically, just relationship with people, and your relationship with alcohol. So
yeah,
there you go. That's what the show's all about. And your relationship, most importantly, to yourself, just so we're all very, very clear here. So that's where it starts. So,
and it is Sunday night, and I have a feeling our normal crew is not going to be here except Jen and Otha.
Jen and Otha, you're here.
Jen and Otha.
All good. Otha, looks like maybe you have the beginning of some questions, and we will get to that in just a second.
Sound we good? Will 100%.
Let's pin it for a second.
I'm gonna give it a star there real quick for us.
Hey, let's do it. We got a star. We'll bring it up in a minute. We just ran through 2 weeks of live broadcasts every night.
14 days, 16 lives.
Yep, because we kept our 3 p.m. Central live broadcasts on Friday afternoons. That's not going anywhere.
No.
So what we were trying to do is figure out where you guys are at. There's a bunch of people that have these things called jobs, ourselves included, and we were going, hey, we only want to go live when we're at work, which we have, normal banker's hours doing this stuff.
Yeah.
And then we went, wait a second, a lot of the people that need us are at work during that time. So let's open up the house a little bit and give them more opportunity to connect with us. So if you found this valuable, what did you think? I mean, what was valuable about the last 2 weeks to you? How could we be more valuable? Is there a certain day of the week, or rather night of the week, that works best for you? And what did you think of the times? We run 10 Central for a week, and we ran 9 Central. This is the last night of the 9 Central week. So we're just kind of curious. Drop in the comments what your thoughts are about how it went. How do we do? We're looking for some feedback here. We give you guys a lot of feedback. That's what we do on this show.
Yeah.
So now we're looking for a little bit from you.
Yeah, it's your turn.
Yeah. Big ask, I know. I'm sorry.
Huge ask.
Yeah. Let us know what you think. How could we improve the show? When would you like to see us on? Because we're not going anywhere. We will be gone for a week though.
Except our Friday.
Yeah, except we'll be here for the Friday afternoon, but we're gonna take week off and huddle is the best way to describe it. We're gonna figure out what nights we're gonna be on moving forward. So don't expect us next week, but definitely expect us to return to some regular evening installments.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All the days I've been here, you guys have both been awesome. Thanks, Otha.
Yeah.
Appreciate that one.
Definitely appreciate that. Yeah, just trying to be here for you. Jeez, my voice, man. I guess that's what happens when you go live every day for weeks on end. Yeah, so like I said, we'd really appreciate some feedback on times, ways we can improve, ways we can serve you better, because that's what this is all about, We do a lot of stuff behind closed doors, one-on-one clients, people that don't necessarily want to be on a stream like this publicly, but puberty sucks, bro. Thanks, Otha. Appreciate it.
It's a compliment there, young guy.
Yeah, there you go. I'll have a beard someday, I think, maybe. Yeah, let us know what you're thinking. And then, as always, we take questions from you, the audience, about your relationship to yourself, to alcohol, and to other people.
Yeah.
And anywhere those things intersect. So do not hesitate to drop them in the comments. In fact, implore you to let us know how we can help you by letting us know questions you have about your life. So
thanks, Ed.
Hello. Thank you.
Appreciate
it.
Yeah, we're gonna convene like you, and it's a relation. We have relationships outside of this. We seriously take our competing priorities very seriously.
Yeah.
So we have to look out for ourselves while we're also looking out for you. And we do have all day careers. So like any healthy relationship, we are going to prioritize certain things and make certain things work around it.
Yeah. Our relationship to you guys is important, but the relationship to my wife is a little more important.
Yeah.
And I hope you would understand if you're here. And if you don't, that is why you are here, actually. So, yeah, I like that. Why don't we put beardless out there? Hey, man, I haven't done any support groups since I walked away from 12-step meetings. Thank you, sir. This is
you might want to hop on the beardless one.
Man, I'm doing just fine. Just shave my face and you'd never know I can't grow a beard. I kind of rocked a beardish mustache thing for a little while, the beginning of the year.
Oh
Yeah, I
no.
mean, if I sculpt it right, it doesn't look terrible, but just not me, man. Every day I'd look in the mirror, I'm like, that is not my face, you know. Um, that was it. But you know, I don't want to get us lost. I like the. I mean,
Yeah.
what do you think about these competing priorities? Like, there you go. Thank you for
God's
bringing
God,
us
yeah.
back.
God's spouse, family football. As long as it's college football and LSU, I won't hold it
Dude,
against
I
you with that.
knew this was coming, man. Ah,
As
East
long as as
alma
long as
mater
it's
over
as
here.
long as it's those Tigers, we're
Yeah,
good.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Got a neighbor that's one of those. He's one of you guys too.
I'm gonna lose
Um,
some followers over that one.
oh, yep. Well, they weren't with you anyways, right?
Nope.
Um, yeah. So competing priorities, man. Um,
It's a struggle for a lot of people. I think
yeah.
in relationships, but also in sobriety. We've talked a lot about it this week, especially. Oh no, hook 'em.
My wife's an A&M grad. She's a doctor out of A&M. There's like, she watched the show last night for the first time, by the way. So, oh, you better hope she's not on right now, or she might actually comment publicly, which is the thing she doesn't even do on Facebook. She just
That's all
watches.
right. She
So,
can comment. I'm a
yeah.
doctor of LSU. She's a doctor of A&M. We can go
No,
head to
dude.
head on that one.
War.
Tigers
Uh,
are gonna whoop that A&M.
so let's so let's talk. Hey, not lately, but anyways, I only know that because of my neighbor. So sounds like we've got competing priorities on the show tonight.
It
Um,
does.
football or relationships and recovery. Um, yeah, like when we're talking competing priorities. Um,
We talked about him this week, especially with sobriety. You brought it up. After a while, it's no longer about the sobriety. You have to start paying attention to your career. You have to start paying attention to the relationship
yeah, yeah,
because sobriety never takes a back seat, right?
no,
But it,
no, it
it
can't.
leaves it leaves your mind a little bit, and it leaves you open to explore and prioritize other things.
Yeah.
Am I right on that?
Well, I'd say you can do backseat, just don't ever put it in the trunk. Okay.
Yeah,
Like that's when you get yourself in trouble. That's like maximum complacency.
put it in the
Feeling that like
passenger seat for a minute.
that works too. Yeah. I mean, you just don't let it my program is don't let it drive. Like just don't let it
Yeah.
drive. Um you it's very difficult to quit a thing that you're constantly focused on. You're
Mhm.
like, oh, just scared of the boogeyman. Like, how about
Yeah.
we just don't focus on it? Um, yeah, so I want to hear a little bit of competing priorities on the relationship side. I mean, I've got a few
A
things
lot
I've
of
thought
it,
of.
like we were talking about, career is a big one in mine.
Yeah,
And I've had the conversation with Melissa. We just had it. And I said, Dylan and I are meeting Monday. Right. These are the things you have to talk about. She understands my career is important, but I also have to involve her a little bit because it is our time. And I have to prioritize that. So I said, Dylan and I are meeting Monday for a business meeting. I'm going to ask him for 3 to 4 times that work for both of us. I'm going to bring it back to you, get your check on it, right? Because
yeah,
it's going to have a huge impact on you. So yeah, those competing priorities in the relationship, you have to have those conversations because your partner is the one navigating with you, right?
ideally.
It's like a car with 2 steering wheels.
Yeah, yeah,
So you've got to involve that. You have to involve them on those decisions,
yeah, absolutely. Um,
and it then becomes compromise, right? It's not, hey, I need you to make this decision for me, or hey, this is whatever you say goes. That can't be it. But we need to talk about this and come to a compromise between the two of us for what is best for both my career and the relationship. How
yeah,
can these two things live together?
ideally a win-win, right?
Yeah.
Um, because there's almost always a third option when it comes to compromise. That
Yeah.
might take a little bit of time and some thinking, but that's what your brain's for. Let it
Hmm.
do the problem solving and find a solution that works for both parties, where nobody loses, nobody walks away hurt. You know,
Yeah.
I was raised that compromise was a solution in which no party wins, and that's such a negative mindset to have about reality.
I hate
where
that. That's a lose-lose mindset.
yeah, because then like you're seeing the world as clearly defined winners and losers. Like
Yeah.
that's all there is to it. Um, and that's very fixed, very not growth oriented mindset in any way, shape, or form.
No.
Because dude, you're gonna lose. You're gonna
Yeah.
lose.
Yeah.
A lot, hopefully. If you're moving forward, you better be losing,
Yeah.
That's how you win in the end. Um,
Yeah,
I really
you should
appreciate
approach
that.
those things in your relationship always as a win-win. You're shooting for a win-win solution all the time.
Yeah. Yeah, because it's I don't know. I guess if you got in the relationship to dominate your partner and control and manipulate, like what do you go get an employee and be a jerk boss. Don't do that to someone you love. That makes sense.
Yeah.
Also, don't do that to your employees, just so we're
No.
clear here. But if that's how you're going to do it, don't do it to your spouse. It doesn't even make sense.
No.
I'm sure you see it though, like you
Oh,
do
you
in your
do.
life.
You do.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
it would have been really easy for me to say, "Hey, Dylan and I are going live these nights. This is it. Period." Right? That's not the quality of a leader.
No.
That doesn't take your partner's time, effort, um, support, any of that into consideration when you do stuff like that.
So I'm supposed to be considering my partner. Is what you're saying?
Yeah, yeah, you should be considerate of them. The
Fine.
time, energy, effort, all that they put into the relationship should be respected.
Well, I guess we're done here today. I
Oh,
learned
okay.
everything I need to know. I can go home. Thanks. Appreciate that.
Yeah.
No, I think
What are some competing things in sobriety? What competes with your sobriety?
um
Let's go like in the beginning and then as you move forward.
so in the beginning, literally everything was my experience. It's like my romantic relationship was like way past on the rocks. So that competed with it because I still wanted that to work, right?
Yeah, yeah,
But
yeah.
I really had to focus on my relationship with myself. That's where why I say everything is competing
Mhm.
because getting sober is about improving your relationship with yourself. It's a very
Yeah.
internal and inwardly focused work that you have to do.
Mhm.
Like, yeah, you're going to make some amends and you're going to try to make things better with people. But at the end of the day, it's improving your relationship with yourself, self care, self love, not self care in that like real general, like get a pedicure thing. Like, do that. You should do that. You should do those things. But like taking it further, like going to the gym, eating well, getting sleep, all of the hard self care stuff. Um, which then you have to like kind of deprioritize your relationships with the outside world. It
Yeah.
does kind of require that. Um, Life at first for me had to take a backseat to me, like loving me, learning to love me
Yeah.
again.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, I mean that was in the beginning. And then you start to transition, and then you start to experience the true competing priorities experience. Like, okay, well, I want to salvage this stuff with my wife. I'm concerned of the impact it might have on my sobriety.
Yeah.
I viewed it in a different way than others did. They were like, "Hey, if you leave to go like fix things with her, you're gonna get drunk. It's not gonna work." Like
That
pretty much everybody decided I was gonna be a failure. Like I
well,
was gonna lose
that's even what a therapist told you, wasn't it?
100%.
That's
And group
crazy.
sessions I was in. Um,
That is
yeah,
just nuts.
there was like I don't know, maybe two people out of everyone I talked to that was like, this is what you should do, you know.
Mhm.
And of those two people, one of them was me.
Yeah.
The only like one other and my wife, right? I mean,
Yeah.
I wouldn't have been coming down here to Texas if we hadn't talked about it a little bit. But yeah, I had no idea what the hell's going to happen.
Yeah.
I just one of the things have seen people that were being told to like work had to take a back seat, and it's like
Mhm.
you have to be able to determine for yourself those competing priorities. Like you
Yeah.
can't just take I this is not a to disparage therapists. They do a damn good job. Some of them lack the actual experience
Yeah.
to be able to confidently speak on the topic. So then they have to default to the book, and the book is written for the minority,
Yeah.
not the majority, because it
Yeah.
has to be. Like the real problems are what the book has to be written about. So the
Yeah.
answer is don't take risks.
Yeah.
Like don't do
Yeah.
anything like that. Yeah, so that's it. And now competing priorities is like my sobriety doesn't compete really with anything. It's not in the trunk. I'm I'm as close to overly confident as I feel I can get with it without it being a threat. Like
Yeah.
I walk around strutting my sobriety. I'm not like throwing it in people's face, but I'm not worried about it. Like I'm not concerned about that. So now it's how do I have a show to help other people get sober at 9 o'clock at night when my kids don't go to bed at 8 on a good night
Uh-huh.
and they don't fall asleep till 8:30 or 8:45. That's the competing priorities I deal with today. Is how do I juggle the business and my wife and my kids and then me also. I do stuff to take care of yourself.
Yeah.
Like my competing priorities are normal human competing priorities that
Yeah.
actually care about prioritizing now. Like how do I make this work? Um I think
I like how you said that.
yeah.
I appreciated that. Yeah. It does grow, and competing priorities change over time. Like,
Yeah.
that's where you have to be adaptable.
Well, I think they should. If you're growing, you better be like
Yeah.
reevaluating priorities and goals and
Yeah.
all that stuff along the way, right?
Yeah.
Because
But it's the stuff nobody wants to do.
yeah, because it sounds like hard
Yeah,
work and stuff.
it's work.
Yeah,
And it's
yeah,
hard to set your partner down, or your wife, or whoever it is, set them down and talk to them about these things. Like, where are our priorities as a couple? Is it us? Has it shifted? What do we need to do to reconcile it? Like, what's going on?
I love that. Because I mean, we've been married for over 7 years,
Uh-huh.
and we've been through hell. You
Yeah.
know, I helped put us through it, but we've been through it. You know, um, but we're still here. And the thing I want to point out is like having those sit down conversations still can be difficult. They
Yeah.
can still be put off for a couple days or a couple weeks.
Mhm.
Ideally, we don't blow up, that we don't harbor them for so long that it's an
Yeah.
atomic bomb. But I mean, I could list off tons of things, even in recent history, like where we should have had a conversation and it took us a minute
Mhm.
to have it.
Well, I
You know?
like what you said the other day. I don't know if it was you and I talking, or if it was on the show, but you're like, yeah, sometimes we fall into the trap where we're prioritizing our kids,
Yeah.
and just kind of everything else kind of is just stagnant. There's no prioritizing it. It's at the detriment to our relationship and to both of us.
Yeah.
And we have to like rethink what's going on and say, hey, what's happening here?
Yeah.
Why is this happening? Where are our priorities? What's going on? And you kind of, it brings you back center when you do that. Like, it's a tough thing to do,
Yeah.
to
The
say, hey,
hardest.
where have we been placing our priorities, and do we need to maybe shift those?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I mean, when you say that, this almost harkens back to yesterday, like complacency.
Uh-huh.
Um, when you're dealing with priorities in any relationship, even if it is a relationship with alcohol, right?
Mhm.
You're dealing with what was or is status quo and breaking that mold. Like we aren't always taught the healthiest status quo. Like
Yeah.
my drinking, I'm not this. I take accountability for my decisions, right?
Yeah.
I'm very clear about this on the show. Um, the world around me did give me a lens to excuse my behavior, though. Like
Yeah.
that is a reality. I look at it now, I'm like that's not okay. That's why I am sober. But if I would have kind of cleaned my act up, like I didn't even have to necessarily get sober. If I would have cleaned my act up, probably could have kept doing the thing until I couldn't do it anymore, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because the people around me would allow it. They were doing it too,
Yeah.
and always have, always will. It's just life. So it's strange um, to break the mold, you know.
Yeah. I like that. You do have to, like, I like when people step back, look at their personal growth, look at what they're doing, and say, I need to do something different than what's actually happening or what other people are doing. I've got different priorities. I've got a different relationship. I've got a different life. I like how you put that. I wanted to break the mold
Yeah,
and kind of
yeah,
do me for a minute.
totally.
Because
And
I
then
mean,
ended up, you know, for everyone else in the end.
yeah.
You
Yeah.
know?
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
want to, I want to
And
drop this.
like,
Go ahead.
go ahead. Oh, like those people, and it's good you get away because it leads right into that lack of support, especially when we're trying to prioritize things. Like, where do you stop the lack of support? At what point do you say enough's enough? Like you said, break the mold. When do I say your lack of support sucks? I'm done with you. I'm going to go do my own thing.
Oh man, like bringing the heavy on a Sunday evening.
So
Um,
yeah, sorry.
no, you're good. I mean, I'm sure just as heavy of a lift on
Oh yeah.
the relationship part because you know, at the end of it, it's like when we're talking sobriety. So are we talking like support from a partner and us getting sober? Are we talking
I
like
mean, I don't know. Start easy, like the people that weren't supporting your therapist, the people that weren't supporting you in moving to Texas.
okay, yeah, no,
Let's start
I
there. That'll transition into relationships pretty well.
totally. Yeah, a lot of that was just navigating. Um, I have to live my life,
Yeah.
not not them.
Yeah.
Um, and man, my life was gonna fall apart either way if I didn't act. That was the reality. Like that was the
Yeah.
thing that I don't think they were aware of. Like if I maybe not permanently, but I could almost guarantee you there might have been a minute or two that I would have made the choice to go back to drinking if
Yeah.
I didn't move and I didn't get to see my kids again for a while. Like I knew that. Like it was finally a reality, like for sure thing.
Mhm.
It's a likely outcome. Would it have
Yeah.
happened for sure? I don't know. But that would have been a significant threat to my sobriety at that point in time because we were talking about competing priorities. That was like one of the reasons I was getting sober. Not so much to save my marriage, but to save my relationship with my kids. So I would have done the stupid thing that people do where when we don't get what we want, we take our ball, we go home, and we usually like bring a can of gas and some matches and we make everything worse for a minute until we pull our head out of our asses and we do something about it, right?
Mhm.
Um, I can say today I wouldn't do something like that. Like if my wife and I split tomorrow, I don't get to see my kids for 10 years. I'm not going to go back to drinking. I'm not going to light my life on fire because I know better.
Mhm.
Back then I didn't. But either way, I had to make the choice because I would have ended up drunk if I didn't act. So it was like, where would I
Yeah.
rather be drunk?
Yeah.
Having said I tried and failed, or
Yeah.
no, I sat on my hands because I was concerned that I would risk my sobriety, and then I did anyways, right? That was, I guess, actually, if you really want to distill it, that's how I saw it.
Yeah.
Was that no matter what option I took, it was a risk to my sobriety because I was early in sobriety. So do you take the risk that might result in a reward, or you just like pray,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
like so I took action, you know.
Yeah.
Um, I hope that gets to it. Felt a little rambly to me, but
No, no,
um,
it makes total sense. Especially on the relationship side. Like if you're not supporting your partner, like there can't be a lack of support in the relationship. If you're not supporting your partner, it creates a huge emotional distance between two people.
yeah,
When you don't feel supported, intimacy goes away, growth goes away, personal development starts to go, like, you feel terrible just from that one thing, just not feeling supported, which is where the compromise becomes so important, you know. And there's only so far you can go, or so long you can go in the relationship feeling unsupported,
Yeah.
until it starts to consume your entire life and you feel awful about yourself,
Yeah. Yeah.
because that should be the one place that you can go where you're always supported no matter what.
Yeah. It's
It's
home.
Yeah, it is. And even people I work with, I'm like, here's the deal. No matter what happens in public, you support your partner. You don't talk down to them. You don't contradict them. And if you don't agree with them, you don't say that in front of other people. You wait till the door closes when you get home. You support them through that whole thing in public. And when you get home, you say, hey, here's the deal. We need to talk about this. Like what you said, I'm not really jiving with. I'll support you in whatever decision you make out there, but I want to talk to you about it here between us. And
Yeah.
you handle it there. You handle the conflict. You deal with it behind closed doors.
Totally. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because the whole united front kind of concept,
Yeah.
um, don't give the world a reason to tear you apart when they're already looking for it.
Yeah.
You know,
100%.
that's, I don't know. I mean, just unfortunately human nature to, yeah, that guy's got something good. Let's see what I can do to throw some paint on his Hummer, you know, like,
Yeah.
it's crazy. So
Yeah.
don't let him do that.
Yeah. So, like, that's where support becomes so important, because when you don't feel supported, like, I mean, think about it. If your wife didn't support you when you went out, okay, you two went out for your mystery dinner, she wasn't supportive of you staying sober, and somebody asked why you weren't drinking, and she said, oh, he can't handle it. He's just right. If she had some condescending remark and wasn't supportive of it, like, how would you feel?
Bro. Oh my God. I just, I know that's so hilarious. Um, no, that's really funny, dude. I would, I mean, I feel like shit.
Or she's
I'd be
like,
like,
hey,
wow.
he's a piece of shit when he drinks, and we
Yeah.
almost divorced because of it. Like, like you would feel like the
I'd go
lowest
get a
piece of
drink.
scum. Yeah.
Like,
You'd
well,
feel like such scum if she did that to you.
yeah. Well, since you said it, I'll
Yeah.
make it a reality.
Yeah. Instead of supporting you through it,
Yeah.
right? And when you got home saying, hey, I really appreciate how you handled that. Or on the other side, hey, that was real fucked up what you did to me.
Well,
And
I mean,
I feel lower than snake shit right now.
totally, totally.
Like
I
what
saw that.
happened?
I saw that not in romantic relationships, but like, you know, bro ships and that kind of stuff, where it was like they took my choice to get sober as some sort of weakness. And I'm like,
Yeah.
well, good for you then, you know? People even literally telling me they like me better when I drank. Well, I don't know, go find someone else to be that guy. I'm not that guy,
Yeah.
you know? There's no reason to get into like the psychology behind that, but it is interesting because I don't know, once somebody pulls support like that from me, I'm done.
Yeah.
Like done. There's no, I'm pretty big about second chances, but not like that. It's like, no,
No.
we're done. We're done here.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, the most
It's
important decision in my life made in my life, and you
yeah.
have a problem with it, bye. Um,
Dude,
so
yeah. Yeah. It's weird. Like, even coming back to Wyoming, I've had my character attacked
oh
because I
yeah,
went and got an education.
yeah, yeah,
Because I went from blue collar, working the rigs, construction, to becoming a doctor, and my character gets attacked
yeah.
on
How dare
multiple
you?
levels. Like, that's how they try to get to me, is through ad hominem attacks.
Yeah,
And and it sucks, especially when they're close to you. It's like, where is your support? What brought on this lack of support?
That's where having a supportive partner comes in.
It
And it's
is.
very, very helpful.
It is. It is.
My wife's always like, you're being a dipshit whenever I let someone else get under my skin. Like she like grounds me in that respect. Cause I mean, I'll let it destroy me. I truly feel like if I'm left to my own thoughts and devices, somebody says something that, makes me, what it is they play on some insecurity I have. And then I just blow it up and act like it's like, I don't know, like not just an Achilles heel, but it's like my whole body all of a sudden.
Yeah.
And she's just like, dude, tell that guy to shut up. Like you have thousands of messages in your DMs from people thanking you for helping them get sober.
Yeah.
You have clients that are sober. Like, what are you're gonna listen to some jerk face on the internet that you'll never see? Like, get out of here.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. They challenge you. I appreciate that with it. Yeah, that is it.
They do. Yeah,
Yeah.
and it's nice to have that. Like that is your rock. I mean, a few days ago, I was just having a shit day. I was talking to Melissa at night because I call her every night after the live, and I was sitting down, and she's like, "What's wrong?" I was like, "Oh, everything's fine." I was just keeping. I was trying to keep business outside the relationship. And she's like, "No, I'm not really getting off the phone. I'm not going to get off the phone until we figure this out." And I was like, "Well, here's what's going on. I just had a rough day. This is what's going on." And she sat there and talked to me about it. Just listened, which was probably the most supportive thing I could have used in that minute. Wasn't like, just let me get it out.
Yeah. I had a day where it felt like everything was falling apart.
Yeah.
And I just need to be able to talk to someone about it.
Yeah.
Because I feel bad about what's going on. I'm not where I envisioned myself being, and yeah, I mean, if that's where you were, I've been there too. So, and that's, I think like I can think back to past relationships where I didn't have that. I don't know what the hell I was doing in relationships that way, because if your romantic interest does not have your back on the things that you're doing, what do they actually bring to the table in the relation? Like, what is it? Like
and the other
body?
Yeah. And the other thing you want to think about is whose back do they have? Like, if they don't have yours, whose interest do they have? That's the way.
I would hope, at least.
Well, at least they have their own, but right.
Who's the
then it's self-serving. Like, what are they actually in this for?
Totally. Yeah. Manipulate, control, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah. It becomes super toxic real quick.
I never thought of that. Really, like, oh wait, and what was that relationship actually about?
Yeah.
Maybe I had a house or a car or all those things.
Yeah.
Interesting, dude.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna go revisit old chapters and try to figure it out. But
I mean, it's something to think about. Like,
interesting.
If they didn't have you, if they weren't interested in you, what interest did they have? If they're not going to support you, who are they supporting?
Yeah.
What are they supporting?
Or rather, am I supporting them?
Yeah. Like, you are. If they're not being supportive and you're supporting them, it's just you. You're just supporting them.
Dang, man. Mentally,
emotionally, physically, financially.
I hope that's helpful to somebody today.
I hope so too.
Yeah, I think that's what we're here for. But that's a pretty good one right there.
I was told the other day I toe the line on relationships. Like, I don't take an extreme view either way. And I kind of do that on purpose. But I'm starting to like,
fuck that.
I'm like, screw that. Like, I'm not going to toe the line anymore. I'm just going to tell you how it is, what the deal is.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean,
if you're being a shitty, unsupportive partner, you need to be called out on it.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm here. I'm here for that. I support that 100%. I was that way with the sobriety thing for a little while. Oh my God. I love that.
Yeah.
I love that. I did that with the sobriety thing for a little while this was my concern. My
Uh-huh.
concern was that, okay, there were a few times that I drank and my excuse was the people that were trying to help me. Like
Yeah.
their help encouraged me to drink, right?
Mhm.
Bullshit excuse. But my concern was I would be that to someone else. My other concern was like, I want to help everyone. Like
Yeah.
I want to help everyone that's struggling. So then I didn't want to offend,
Yeah.
as my concern, right? Um, but I realized that's not my job. Like my job is to be me authentically, share my views on recovery the way I know them best, which is through my own experience
Yeah.
and knowledge, right? So then I don't know. I'm sorry if it offends you that I think that after a certain period of time, you're not relapsing, you're making a choice.
Yeah.
But there's someone else out there that thinks it's okay and that it is just a relapse. Follow that guy instead.
Yeah.
Like we don't have business together. No big deal.
Yeah.
It'll be okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't know. That's my
It's
thoughts.
at some point you just have to stand up and be like, this is how it is.
Yeah.
Period.
Yep. Yeah.
I mean, yeah, if you want to go follow another coach with his 6-month certificate on relationships, go right ahead. If you want help from the coach with a little certificate, fine, by all means.
Yeah.
Disregard my 12 years of education.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Like,
There's someone else with an opinion out there that you can follow instead.
yeah,
So
yeah,
if their
100%.
opinion fits better in your echo chamber, that's where you should go and leave me alone.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, dude. Man, we're getting a little long in the tooth here.
We've
And
covered lack of support, competing priorities. We've covered a lot.
we have,
Like,
and
those are big topics.
I just am slightly concerned that we're neglecting the audience a little bit. What are your thoughts?
Okay,
You think we should hop in?
we can hop in there. There's been a
let-
lot of chatter in there. It's pretty good.
I want to do this. Hey, what's up?
Congratulations, Tyler.
It's a big deal. I explained this in my mentorship group earlier today. People are like, well, you have yours. Why do you think months or weeks or days is a big deal? Well, I think days or weeks or months is a big deal because if you've been drinking for longer than the amount of time you've been sober, it's a big deal.
Yeah.
So a day is always, a week is always, a month is always hard.
Yeah.
Because comparatively we've been drinking longer. So this is a big damn deal. And I'm proud of you, Tyler, for doing that.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't want to miss that.
Doug's still only on 4. Not too bad for him.
That's what's up. Yeah,
And
I mean,
also, here's a note from Otha for you too.
What do we got? It better not be a crack at me.
No.
Oh, okay, cool. There we go. He's just good at that, man. I don't know what's deal. I don't know what I did to Otha in a past life, but making me pay for it now. Yeah, no, that's good. So again, if you are fresh here tonight, been watching the stuff previously throughout the week, we really want to know where we could serve you better.
Yeah.
What could we do to serve you guys better? How can we help more? We're taking a week break to determine what nights are going to be continuing the evening broadcasts. So we're curious when you want to see us again. What days? Well, what nights and what time? What time zone are you in? And maybe why? Like maybe you want us here Friday nights. Is there a reason why you want us here Friday nights? Is it a Monday? Why a Monday? What suits you and why? So yeah, if you'd let us know in the comments what that's all about, we'd appreciate it. It'll make our I guess our first like official business meeting on Monday.
Even people watching this replay, make sure you comment because this was done at 9 Central.
Yeah. Yep.
So let us know.
Yeah, definitely, because we are interested in serving you better, and the only way we can do that is if we know what you need.
Yeah.
We want to support you, but if you don't communicate your needs, it's very difficult for us to be supportive in this relationship that we have with you. So tell us how we can relate better. How about that?
Yeah. Love it.
So So do we have anything? We had that star from Otha. Do we need to bring that up earlier in the show?
We can. Said she was proud of me because we met at the bar and she was a little tipsy and kept offering me drinks, but I said, no, that's awesome. Yeah, those young bucks are sometimes easier to scare away.
Yeah, they don't know any better.
When they see experience walk up, kind of
Well,
makes them look like a deer in the headlights.
Yep, I gotta go.
But that's awesome that you guys met at the bar and she kept offering you said no. I mean, that's what it's all about. That's some strength.
Totally. So how are you feeling about the last 2 weeks?
I feel pretty good. I mean, it was a lot. It definitely it took some navigating with Melissa to make things happen. But I mean, of course she came in. You all saw her here a week ago. She came in a few nights. So other than that, man, the conversations have been awesome. We've met a bunch of new people, which I love. Love seeing new people in here. Love seeing older people in here, meaning followers, previous followers versus new followers.
Not old people.
Yeah. So it's been awesome, and I've really enjoyed talking to everybody and learning a lot. I mean, that's what this has been about, growth. Neither you or I have done 16 lives in a row before. And like we talked about, right? This was a good preparation for our webinars that we're going to be starting hopefully by the end of August.
Yeah.
In our individual webinars.
Yep.
So I think it's been great. And I look forward to some more.
Here's where you're wrong. I'm just kidding. You're not.
Tell me where I'm wrong.
No, I was just talking about this with my mom actually, about how you get a big data set really fast when you're putting in these many reps in a row.
Yeah.
I mean, it would have taken us like, I don't know, like we did learn a lot. We learned a lot about kind of show format, ways to interact with you guys better, ways to just serve topics in a more fluid fashion.
Yeah, ways to talk to each other a little bit more effectively for other people.
Yeah, for real. So it would have taken us months of doing it once a week to get that knowledge and that experience. So it was it was well worth the, I don't know, experiment, if you want to call it that. Because in a lot of ways it was, like, hey, I wonder if people want to see us at night. And the overwhelming majority says yes. Now we're just figuring out when we want to come back, it now does feel like a talk show, like a podcast more than it did before. Which is cool. Before it was much more, not that this component's going anywhere, but it was more like a mailbag episode, like Q&A, and that's fine. It's important to let that drive the show some, because we are here to handle your questions. But when everyone's just shouting their answer out, it can derail the flow of the show. And sometimes it becomes one-sided, where it's all relationships or all recovery. And that's, the audience is split, and it's not fair to have one show that does not suit the needs of half of the viewership, So if we drive a little more and allow your questions to become topics, then you still get the answers to your questions without us answering your question, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, we try to give both breadth and depth through broad topics like competing priorities, lack of support. We went over complacency, fear. We went over things that are relevant to both sides that each one of us can speak on in our own respective field.
Yeah, because I mean, instead, Ryan could have just said, be nicer to your spouse and start talking. And I could have said, just get sober. And there you go. Now you have a 30-second reel and you got everything you need to know, right? But no, that's why we're here, because there's tons of that out there.
Yeah.
And we're trying to get into the heart of the matter. What is it? I mean, I have tons of reels that suggest real quick tidbits on how to get sober, but in 30 seconds, we can't dig into topics.
No.
You're the same way. We do our best to create short form content.
Yeah.
But here we get to really get into it. And if you stick around, you get gold nuggets, right?
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah. We could have said, suck it up, buttercup, and walked away.
I think, Otha, that's what generations past have been doing. And that's why we're here. So,
I mean, there's a time and a place for that statement. I'll be 100% honest.
Yeah, well, I don't disagree with that.
Because that's when there are a lot of people going into drink mode. That was kind of our thought too at the beginning of this, Jeff. I'm glad you brought that up.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean,
we talked about it. It's the lonely time that's hardest for people.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right? If you're struggling with your relationship and you're just, I don't know, maybe you're sleeping on the couch that night, right? You're lonely. You're not sleeping in the same room as your wife. You're trying to fill that void in that time. We wanted to be here. Also, if you're trying to get sober and you're just sitting at home, that's a lonely ass time. And if we can be here with you for an hour just to cheer you up, have a good conversation, maybe learn some things, that's what we wanted to do.
And I think we're funny sometimes. I think
sometimes
like
it depends.
Sometimes we can be. Depends on the topic.
I wouldn't tell either of us to quit our career to become a comedian.
Fine.
Yeah, wouldn't do it.
Fine. I guess I'm in the wrong area. Whatever. Yeah. Tell me my reels aren't funny when I'm talking about how if you keep drinking, it will kill you. That's not funny. It's not funny to you. Fine,
I'm here now so it can be funnier. I do like your banter, Otha. I like that you come after us once in a while.
Well, I mean, somebody's got to keep us in check.
Yeah.
I have a very supportive wife. She doesn't. No, she does. That's why she's a very supportive wife. Because she's like, you're talking garbage right now.
Well, even the beardless. Amen.
Bro, just because this is the last late episode for a week doesn't mean that you can get away with this. Okay. We'll be back.
It is the alone time. 100%.
Yeah. Yeah.
So question, when is that alone time that people struggle with? Is that the time you want us to be online a couple nights a week? Like, what is that time for you?
Yes, because that is what we want to know.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I mean, I have done extensive market research into this topic because I lived it. So I have a fair idea of what that looks like.
Mm-hmm.
But I only have my subjective experience to base that upon, and I could talk to some clients and stuff too. But we want to know what you need. That's why we're here. When is your alone time?
Yeah.
So that you don't have to feel so alone. Because that's the coolest thing about technology is that it bridges that gap in communication and allows us to. I mean, Ryan and I have never, to a best of our knowledge, sat in the same room together ever.
No.
Ever.
It's been I think I was a guest lecturer or guest in Dr. Lely's class virtually.
Yeah. Yeah. You had like longer hair at the time.
I think I was at LSU.
I think you were in your dorm room.
Oh, no dorm room.
Maybe it wasn't a dorm room. It seemed like it was a room.
It was my office at my condo. My office
whatever.
at my condo, yeah.
Sorry, man. I don't know. But yeah, your hair was longer at the time.
They don't they don't let 35, 36-year-olds live in the dorms.
Now I'm starting to figure out how old you are. That's exactly why I did this. No, but yeah, that's still, and it's still virtual.
Yeah.
And it's pretty cool. We can sit in this room together, and not even be together.
Yeah.
It's a beautiful thing. It's technology. So
yeah, if you're watching this, let us know what time. Let us know what your topics. Let us know what days. around now. Honestly, it's helped me wind down after a long day at work, helps clear the mind and the thoughts of drinking and all. Between 9 and midnight Eastern. Perfect. Appreciate both of those.
That we can do. Yeah, yeah. That really is what we're trying to do,
Mm-hmm.
Otha. Yeah, I mean, we're not trying to rile you up. There will be topics that might, I mean, we're like, I don't know. I've often considered whether we should have almost like a trigger warning at the beginning of every episode. Like, hey, we're going to talk about things that you maybe don't want to talk about. And if you're not into it, you shouldn't be here. But then I'm like, just kidding. There you
Yes,
go.
that is if it works with the boss ladies, 100%. That is our next chore.
Yeah. I guess our thoughts are we figure it out here and then bring it there
Yeah.
instead of bring it there. Because like I know for a fact that I have limited support on that front. Like I have a pass for a couple hours a week for sure.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Now it's just a matter of us figuring out what that looks like. But it's for sure not Friday and Saturday. I've mentioned that a couple times.
Mm.
I stand by that. I don't mean to be rude, but if every one of you were like, "Hey, Friday, Saturday," I'd be like, "Hey, no." So yeah.
10 to 11 Eastern, perfect. Co-parenting relationships. I can definitely dig into that for you.
Hey. Yeah. I got to experience that without it officially becoming that way. It's not
Yeah.
part of why I'm sober now. So there is that. Sounds like pretty much where we're at this
Yeah.
time might be a good time, which I'm
This
not
time,
mad about.
this time we'll pick the day.
Yeah, and we'll pick it for you.
Yeah, we
You
will.
tell us.
After 9 Central. Pausing the game for comment. In case you guys can't read that, here you go. I like it. Pausing the game for comment.
Hey, you know, at least we don't have to argue with Jeff about which college team is the better team. That's cool. Yeah, the reason I don't get to play Madden is because I'm on the show instead, and I can't pause to be on the show. But hey, I like this. Enjoy it.
Enjoy it. Thanks, Jess.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Yeah, well, like we said, we're not going anywhere permanently.
No.
We are taking a vacation for a week.
Yep.
Masterminding when we were going to do it, what it's going to look like, and we're going to continue. Also, hey, I don't think we mentioned this enough at all. Our Friday afternoon is not going anywhere.
No.
That will not. We're not taking a vacation from that this week, or ever, ideally. So, if you're jonesing for us throughout this week, waiting to figure out when the next night ones are, you can catch it live at 3 p.m. Central, or it drops as a podcast every Monday, the following Monday. So,
and also both of us are going to have webinars coming out soon. We'll let you know when. So if you want to dig in individually more on sobriety, you can go see Dillon.
Yep.
If you want to dig more on relationships and get more information there, you can come over to my webinar. So there's what we're saying is there's a ton of opportunities coming up for all of you to engage with more specific stuff.
Yeah, which I mean, I think you guys thank us a lot, and I don't know that we always thank you as much as we should as well, because it's very much a symbiotic relationship where I become better at serving everyone else by serving everyone else, right? better understand what
Yeah.
the needs of everyone are. Like, hey, where's my program lacking?
Yeah.
How can I do this? How can I do that? And workshopping it with everybody is super duper
Mhm.
helpful. Which is why now we're both going like, okay, we've been doing this joint thing for 5 months, 6
Yeah.
months. It's time to break off and do some of our own things also outside of that. So we can suit your needs best. So yeah. Well, I think we're at the top of the hour, man.
We are. Stay tuned. The journey with us has just begun.
This is true. We will catch you guys on Friday.
All right. We'll see y'all.
See ya.